So as always, we'll take just a few moments to arrive and make that transition. If you'd like to close your eyes so that you can bring a bit more attention inward, keep encouraging your mind, your attention to come to you, to the here, to the now. And as always, your breath, a great tool to do that. So you could start focusing on your inhales and your exhales. Noticing how the air arrives into the body, into the lungs, expands the rib cage, the chest. And then noticing how the air leaves the lungs, out maybe through the nose, maybe some through the mouth too. And notice how your ribs draw back in towards the midline, your chest lowers. And then relish in that movement, that expansion as you inhale. And that return through center towards midline as you exhale. Maybe you could think about an accordion moving here, expanding out as it fills with air as you breathe in. And then contracting, hands coming towards one another as you breathe out. And as always, give your breath some space and some time. So try not to rush it. And sometimes we feel that urge to move more or bigger. So if that's there, notice that there is movement with your breath and that you can act on that movement. You can make your inhales a little bit more expansive. You can stretch a bit more through the chest, the rib cage, the side body, even the back body. And then on your exhales, there's that containment, that strength to draw back in. So exercise some of that, a few more breaths right here. And now begin to focus a bit more on the center of the body at the end of your exhale and feel some engagement through abdominal muscles. That idea of drawing up and in, and you might even feel it all the way into the pelvic floor, kind of lifting slightly. And you don't need to hold on to that. As you inhale, let that release, so let it expand. Let the center of the body kind of move out, release some. And then at the end of your exhale, again, feel that drawing in and up, that engagement through that center of the body. Another breath in and out. And then find a smooth breath. And when you're ready, blink your eyes open, look around your space. And then we'll start with a little rotation through the spine. So take it slow. Right hand can slide behind you. Your left hand might cross over, but think about turning your rib cage any amount towards the right. And then bring yourself back through center, and we'll stay with the right side. So again, we'll turn any amount towards the right. And then again, return through center. And again, towards the right, any amount. Coming in and out a couple more times, right side. And last one to the right. So notice it's a bit different to what we've done other times, in which we go right from side to side, left, right. This time we did a few on the right side, kind of, you might notice that each time maybe there was a little bit more range or a little bit more ease. And now we'll come back through center completely. Take a moment, take a breath in and a breath out. And then we'll do the same, but to the left. So no, we're going left the whole time, coming in and out of it. So rotate any amount to the left. And come back through center. And again to the left. And it doesn't have to be the whole of your range. You might take just 3/4 or even half. So allowing space, maybe for each time you go towards the left, there might be a little bit more available with ease, without forcing. And with your breath. We'll do a couple more towards the left side. And then the next time you come through center, pause there. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Take a breath. And then with your next inhale, take your arms out into a T and take them back any amount. Elbows can be bent. And then on your exhale, bring palm to palm in front of you. Maybe they touch. Again, inhale, open up. Exhale, and bring them forward. Another one, inhale, open up. And exhale, forward. One more time, inhale to open. And exhale, now right arm over left and a hug. Pause here, take an inhale. And then as you exhale, drop your elbows down, drop the chin towards your chest, and then if you'd like, take some rounding through the rest of the spine. And then as you inhale, lift elbows, maybe in line with shoulders or a little higher. And then as you exhale again, lower elbows first, lower chin, and then maybe there's some rounding through the spine or the rest of the spine. And then again, inhale, come up through center. Your elbows could lift, maybe a little higher than shoulders if that's available. And last one, first elbows, then chin, and then some rounding through the rest of the spine if you'd like. With your next inhale, bring yourself back through center. Take your arms out. And on your exhale, palm to palm in front. Inhale again, arms out. Feel a squeeze through your shoulder blades, so get that upper back working. Exhale, palm to palm. 2 more times. Breathing in, open. And out, bringing it forward. And 1 more time, open. And exhale, bringing it forward. Now left arm over right as you find that hug. Take a moment here, breath in. And then as you exhale, drop your elbows first. Then drop the chin. And then there might be some rounding. You're inviting rounding through the rest of the spine. Lower back, mid back, upper back. As you inhale, returning through center, maybe those elbows lift up. As you exhale again, lower elbows first, lower chin, and then maybe some more rounding. We'll do it 1 more time. Come up through center. You might find a lift through the elbows. And then again, elbows only, chin, and then maybe the rest of the spine. With your next inhale, we're coming back through center, taking those arms wide. And then turn your palms to face back and slide the hands behind you, grabbing a hold of your chair, or maybe you find the other hand. And now squeeze your shoulder blades. Draw your elbows towards one another behind you, and then push the chest forward. Take a full inhale. And take a full exhale. Another one here. And then when you're ready, release that. Let your arms dangle down by your side and give your hands a little shake, your fingers, maybe wrists all the way into upper arm. And then bring your hands back to rest on your thighs. Shoulders lift up by the ears. And then shoulders lower. Another one, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And now inhale, lift. Keep your left shoulder lifted, lower your right. Inhale, right shoulder up. Keep it up, lower your left. Inhale, left lifts. Right shoulder lowers. Inhale, shoulder lifts. And exhale, left lowers. As you inhale, both shoulders will lift, squeeze them in. And then on your exhale, slowly release them down. Nice job. From here, turn your palms to face up and make a fist. Bring the fingers into the palm and then thumbs over. Make it a little tighter if you'd like, and maybe roll it in. Draw your elbows back, chest forward. Crown of the head reaching tall. Take another inhale. Nice, nice, nice. And then exhale, release. Give your fingers a wiggle. And then make a fist with your thumb into the palm first, your fingers over. Maybe a little tighter. Roll those fists in if you'd like. And then again, notice if the spine rounded. See if you can keep that rolling in of your fists and lift your spine, broaden your chest. Nice work. And then open up, give your fingers a nice wiggle. And then from here, we're going to focus a little bit more on the feet and the legs. So your feet are on your block, but you might move your block forward. You're going to have the ball of the foot and the toes on the block, and your heels are going to be off the block, kind of towards you. And then we're going to drop the heels towards the floor, keeping the toes on the block. And then we're going to lift the heels as high as you can. So you're coming onto ball of the foot, maybe even tiptoes. And then again, dropping the heels as far as you can. They might touch the ground, they might not. And then again, lift them as far up as you can. And then lower them down, pressing down. You might even lift your toes towards you. And then again, come back onto the toes, tiptoes. And another one, press those heels down. See if you can feel a stretch through the back of your ankle. And then bring those heels up onto the tiptoes. All right, and then we're going to walk the heels of the feet onto the block, and now your toes are going to be off the block. And now you're going to try and grab the block with your toes, and then you're going to release it. And then again, grab the block, the edge of the block, the toes are going kind of towards down and in, and then release it. And now grab the block, and then see if you can roll the block on its side. And then see if you can roll the block back onto the floor. Just with your feet, your toes. And then again, roll it onto its side. And back. And then one more time, roll it. Nice, nice job. And then bring it back slowly, back onto the floor. Nice. And then from here, heel to toe, your feet off the block. You could pot the block off to the side. And then take your feet and knees wide. And heel to toe, your feet back in. And then again, heel to toe, your feet out. And bring them back. And taking them out. And bringing them back. We'll take them out one more time. We're pausing there. And then from here, we're going to find a bit of a side bend. So you might stay on your right hand. You might lower onto your forearm, sliding it away from you as you side bend towards the right. Left hand could stay at your hip. You could do a cactus arm with your palm facing forward, or you could extend your arm by your ear, your palm facing in. Push a little bit into that right thigh as if you were trying to move away from it, whether it's with your forearm or your hand. And then return through center, left hand or forearm onto that left thigh to find your side bend to the left. Right hand, hip, cactus, or extend over. And then again, push a little bit into that left thigh. And then come back through center, one more time each side to the right. Any of those versions. And back through center and to the left. As you inhale, come back through center, cactus both arms, and then take your elbows back, squeeze your shoulder blades. And on your exhale, elbow to elbow in front of us. Legs stay the same. Inhale, open up, elbows back. Exhale, elbow to elbow. Another one, inhale, open. Exhale, elbow to elbow. One more time, inhale, we open. And exhale, elbow to elbow. As you inhale, arms lift. And on your exhale, take your arms wide and all the way down. Heel to toe your feet in and bring the right knee into your chest. Give it a squeeze. And then you can draw that knee in, and this might be enough of a stretch around that glute, maybe even you're feeling it kind of lower back, right side. Or if you'd like, find some rounding and think about pushing that back body towards the back of your chair as you take your nose, your forehead towards the knee. They don't have to touch, it's just going in that direction. Imagine that you were trying to make a tortoise shell with your back body. And take another breath in. And out. And then return through center, plant your right foot, bring your left knee in, neutral through the spine to start with. That drawing in of the knee already stretches through the back line, glute, maybe even lower back. But if you'd like a little bit more, begin to round. Think chin towards chest, nose towards knee, and then that tortoise shell with your back body. And take a breath in. And take a breath out. As you inhale, return through center, release that right foot. Again, we're bringing the right knee in, giving it a squeeze. And again, if you'd like, find that rounding. Inhale, neutral spine, plant that right foot, bring the left knee in, take a breath in, and then find that rounding if you'd like. We'll do one more of each. Inhale, neutral, release. Bring that right knee in, exhale, round. Inhale, release, neutral, bring the left knee in, and exhale, round. As you inhale, come back through center, plant both feet, and heel to toe your feet out. Side bend to the right, right hand or right forearm to right thigh, reaching over if you'd like, or keeping that left hand hip or cactus. Inhale back through center. Exhale to your left, side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. And inhale, center. And exhale, left. As you inhale, come back through center. On your exhale, cactus arms. Take your elbows back, broaden chest. Elbow to elbow, exhale. Again, inhale, open. Exhale, elbow to elbow. Two more, breath in. Out. And another. And out. As you inhale, arms can reach up. And on your exhale, release those arms down. Keep your legs as they are, but you might come onto the balls of the feet. And now we're going to drop that right knee forward and down, and we're going to pivot towards the left side. A squeeze through your right glute. And then we're going to open back up through center and pivot towards the right side, a squeeze through the left glute. And then again, open. And pivot towards the left, squeeze right glute, a little push into the floor with right foot. And then back through center and pivot towards the right, same thing now with left glute foot. With your next inhale, come back through center, pivot towards your left, and now find your lunge here, so adjust. Left foot's going to plant completely. You might take it a little wider. Your right knee might come under your right hip. You might extend some through the right leg if that feels good. Left hand can rest, or left arm on the back of the chair. And then we'll inhale to lift that right arm forward, up any amount. And then as we exhale, we're going to test out a little twist. So right hand to the left thigh, and turn your torso any amount towards the back of the chair. And then return through center. You might reach that arm up again. Exhale again, twist towards the left, any amount, gentle, slow. Come back through center, inhale, and gentle twist left. We'll do one more, inhale, and left. With your next inhale, come back through center, heel to toe your feet out again, wide stance. And we're going to take it over towards the right side. So pivot, adjust, find your lunge on this side. And so you could adjust your seat to maybe that left leg extends some, not necessary. So see where you're at here. And then when you're ready, left arm reaches tall. Find space in this left side body. And then explore the twist towards the right side. And then return, inhale. And explore that rotation to the right, exhale. And again, return, inhale. And explore to the right, exhale. We'll do two more at your own pace here. Breathe. And then we'll come back through center, torso, legs, and then we'll heel to toe the feet back in. And take a moment, notice how you're feeling here. Maybe, again, find those sit bones nicely planted, your spine lifted, your shoulders down. Take a breath in. And out. With your next inhale, reach your arms wide up. And now interlace your fingers overhead, bend your elbows and bring the hands to the back of the head. Find a little tension here. Push the head into the hands, but then the hands push back into the head. Find a little lift through the top of the head and a reach left, right through your elbows. Take a full inhale. And then as you exhale, a side bend to the right. Right elbow drops, left elbow lifts any amount. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Keep that tension between head and hands. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. And inhale, center. And exhale, left. Nice work. As you inhale, come back through center. Let your elbows go wide. Maybe rest the head into your hands. And then on your exhale, elbow to elbow in front. And maybe some rounding through your spine. Inhale, opening up. Any amount here. Exhale and rounding. So we'll repeat it a few times. You've got time to explore. You don't have to go right away to your full range. You can give yourself some leeway here. And slowing things down to notice how things are feeling. And then the next time that you come back up, stay lifted, reaching those arms up if that feels good. And we're going for a forward fold. So you might find a bit of space between your feet and your knees. Your hands can come to rest on your thighs and then hinge forward and down. Try coming first onto your forearms. So forearms on thighs, your forward fold here. You could interlace your fingers and then make kind of a bit of a basket. Maybe your head rests in your hands. Maybe from here you slide your hands down your shins and you fold a little deeper if that feels good, if that's available. If your block is nearby and you'd like to grab it, you could take your hands onto the block and then fold like this. You could also do forearms or elbows on the block if you fold it a bit deeper. Just opportunities to explore depending on the amount of flexion through the hips. And then find a place where you feel some space in that back body, some stretch, some sensation, but it's not overwhelming you. And that you can then explore that stretch, that sensation with your breath. So you might find that as you inhale, you can expand a bit more into that stretch sensation in the back body. As you exhale, you can soften, kind of release the effort, let it go. So if that speaks to you, play with it, with that breath a little bit more. You could also imagine a balloon in the back body, and as you breathe in, that balloon expands. As you breathe out, the balloon kind of softens, deflates. And we'll do one more. And then when you're ready, we're slowly going to come up. So take your time. Use your hands to support that spine. And then eventually all the way up. And as the head lifts, allow things to settle. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. If it feels good to close your eyes for a moment, do so. And again, prioritize your breath. Just like when we were folded forward, the breath maybe was more felt in the back body. Now allow the breath to be felt again in the front body. So allow your chest, your the front ribs to expand as you breathe in. And to lower, to draw back in as you breathe out. Another. All right. And then if your eyes are closed, open them back up. And then we'll make our way up to stand, do a little bit of standing. Since we had the block with us, you can play with coming up and down with the block. Perfectly fine to do the usual, both feet nicely grounded. But if you want to change things up a bit, you could do right foot on the block and left foot on the floor. Come towards the front edge of your chair, and then when you're ready, rise up. So a bit of an uneven surface, and then return. And then switch, block under the left foot, right foot on the ground. Inhale and rise up. And exhale, return. And then last one, if you were using the block, maybe now to the side, both feet nicely planted, and then rise up and return. And this time we're rising up and we're staying lifted. You could stay with your knees bent for a bit longer. Your hands come to your chest, your chair pose here. Take a breath in. And then take a breath out. And then when you're ready, push the floor away, straighten legs, your arms could reach up. Let's go for a side bend, right hand down, reach up and over. As you find your standing side bend, now press more through your left foot. See how that feels. And then come back through center. And then take that side bend to the left and give the right foot an extra press into the ground. So a bit more engaged through that right leg. And then return through center, take your arms wide and release them all the way down by your side. All right, we're going to play with the seat of the chair again today. So we'll be facing that in mountain pose. Your arms by your side, a little roll through the shoulders, stack your knees over your ankles more or less, your hips over your knees, your shoulders over your hips. And then the crown of the head right between your shoulders, lifting tall. With your next inhale, sweep your arms up. And as you exhale, fold towards your chair. So you might invite your knees to slightly bend. Plant your hands on the seat and find a half lift, straightening through your arms. As you exhale, bend your elbows, hinge from your hips as you fold, dropping that chest. And then again, inhale, straighten through the arms. Exhale, again, fold, bend elbows, hinge through the hips. And again, halfway lift, inhale, straighten arms. Last one, exhale, hinge, bend elbows. With your next inhale, find that halfway lift, your elbows long, and then bend your left knee and begin to circle your left hip. So try to keep your shin and foot kind of still so that the movement that you're finding is coming from the rotation of your thigh in the hip socket, whether that movement is big or small, whatever it is. Switch direction. And then guide your left knee towards your left elbow. And then guide your left knee towards the back of your right knee or thigh. And then again, left knee towards left elbow, direction of movement. And left knee towards the back of the right knee or thigh. And then one more time towards the left elbow, towards the right thigh. Nice job. And then come back through center, release that left foot. Take a few kind of walking in place here with your legs, kind of shake it out a little bit. And then pause that, float your right foot, right knee bends, and then some circles here through the right hip. And remember that when we do this, you can always take a break. So take a couple circles and then rest and then a couple more circles. So you don't have to be doing it all the time. Sometimes I kind of stay for a little long. So you're always more than welcome to find a pause, a break. Switch direction when you're ready. And remember, try to make the movement, the main movement be your thigh in the hip socket. So sometimes we'll get distracted with the foot kind of flailing around or the shin. You see if you can keep that more or less still. All right, and now right knee towards right elbow. And then right knee towards the back of the left thigh, maybe knee. And then again, right knee, right elbow. Right knee, left leg. And right knee, right elbow. Last one. And to the left leg. Nice job. And then return right foot to the ground. Take a moment here, a few wiggles. Let your hips shift from side to side too. And then a nice bend through both knees. Your hands can come to your hips and slowly lift your spine, coming all the way up to stand. Give your glutes a squeeze, your shoulders again over your hips, your arms resting by your side, palms facing forward. Take a breath in and out. With your next inhale, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, a side bend, just like we did earlier. As you find your side bend, push through the opposite foot. Come back through center. And then take it to the other side and push through the opposite foot. And then come back through center. We're folding again towards the chair. So maybe a nice bend through the knees. Make sure you're hinging from your hips. Plant your hands. Find that half lift, straightening through your arms, that neutral spine. And then we'll work a little bit more with the legs. So again, bend your left knee, a few circles in one direction, a few in the other. And now draw the knee towards the left elbow. And now draw the knee towards the right elbow. So it's crossing underneath you. And now again, left elbow, right elbow. And left elbow, and right elbow. Nice work. And then release. Come back through center. Give yourself a little wiggle. And we're going straight to the other side. Float your right foot a few circles, one direction, the other. And then knee to right elbow, knee to left elbow. And again, right elbow, left. One more time each side, right and left. Nice job. And then release, right foot plants, a nice bend through your knees, hands to your hips and rising up. As you rise up, use your glutes to support that spine. So a squeeze there, engaged through, boom. Arms by your side as your mountain pose. Take a breath. With your next inhale, sweep your arms tall. As you exhale, find that side bend. And again, make a point of grounding through the opposite foot. Come back through center. And take it to the other side. Press through the opposite side. And then come back through center. Again, we're folding towards the chair. Plant your hands, find that half lift. This time we're heeling to toe the feet out. And we're going to find a forward fold, wide leg forward fold here. So any position for your feet that feels right. For some of us, it feels good to have a bit more internal rotation. For some of us, a little bit more external. So find a comfortable place there. And then we're going to fold a little deeper. So see if you can hinge at your hips, maybe come onto your forearms on the seat. If you find that the seat is too far away, you could even bring your block, plant it on the seat of the chair, and then come onto your forearms on the block. And sometimes that can be quite nice. And remember that your block has different heights, so you could make it a little higher as long as it's a stable surface. And of course, some of us will fold more, so you're always welcome to move away from the chair if you feel like folding towards the floor. We'll take a moment here and see if you can support your head or in your hands or your arms, forearms, or even on the block. Breathe into that back body. Visualize again that balloon expanding as you breathe in and deflating on the breath out. Another one here. And last one. And then when you're ready, we'll come back up. Take your time, find a nice bend through the knees. You could bring your hands back to your hips as you unroll the spine, rising tall. And then you've still got your feet wide, so try here, heel to toe, your feet back in, just like we do when we're seated, but now in the standing position, so it can get a little bouncy. It's a nice one to also practice. Meeting back in mountain pose, give yourself a breath in and a breath out. With your next inhale, sweep your arms tall. As you exhale, find again your side bend. Press through opposite side foot. Inhale, come back through center. And take it to the other side. Inhale, come back through center. One more time, we're folding towards the seat of the chair. Find your halfway lift. And then from here, find a bend through your right knee as you straighten through your left. So think about bringing a bit more weight into the heel of the left foot. Maybe you lift your toes even. Quite the stretch through the back of the leg, the glute. And then straighten your right leg, bend into your left knee. And see if you can get a stretch or feel a stretch through the back of the right leg, glute area, right side. Press a bit more through the heel. Maybe even lift your toes. And then give it a go, one more each side. Switch. last one, switch. And then when you're ready, nice bend through the knees. We'll come through that chair pose. So we're going to send weight into the heels of the feet, sweep your arms forward and up as you lift your torso, but keep your knees bent. You're sitting back and down. You could keep your arms lifted a little longer, turning your pinky fingers in if that feels good. You're always welcome to bring your hands to your chest. We'll take a couple breaths here. Working into those thighs. Nice job. Take another breath in and out. And then straighten through your legs, reach tall, take some space, lowering those arms down by your side. All right, let's come back to the chair, recliner, sofa, or floor. So I'll meet you there. Back body is supported. And then just like we did earlier, so no rush to get there, but like we did earlier in the chair, we'll do it here in a bit more supported position for the back body. So we're going to draw the right knee in. Your left foot could be planted, left knee could be bent. And then just by drawing the knee in, you're getting a stretch through the right glute. You might be feeling a stretch through the back of the right hip too. Notice that. And take a couple breaths. And then from here, guide your right knee towards your right armpit. See how that feels. So it's just a slight shift of the knee to the side, out, towards the right. And just notice any different sensation around that glute. And then when you're ready, we'll take this into a figure 4. So that right ankle will cross or over that left thigh or anywhere down that left leg, depending if you are seated or lying down. And then think about sending your right knee away from you. Keep some action through your right leg. And take a breath in and out. Now, option to stay still in this figure 4. Option to move from side to side. So it's going to be a little twisty for the lower back as you shift this figure 4 left and right. So again, just take it slow. Testing things out. If you're on the ground, it's kind of a nice, well, it can be a nice massage for the back of your hips. And there is this rotation happening through the lower spine too. And then if this is feeling good and you'd like to take this figure 4 all the way towards the left side, you could take that right foot all the way to the floor. Or you could plant your block here on the left side and maybe your right foot lands on the block. Your chest is still facing the ceiling or facing forward, and we're pausing here. Breathing in and out. And then we're going to release our figure 4 as we bring those knees back in towards the chest. If you're on the floor, if it feels good to bring both knees in for a moment, you could do that, finding a lift and a lowering of your sacrum, kind of this rocking motion. And then eventually we'll plant the right foot and we'll keep the left knee drawing in towards the chest. So again, finding that stretch now through the back of the left hip, the glute. You might feel it some into the lower back area. And take a couple breaths here. And then if you'd like, guide that left knee towards your left armpit. It changes a little bit the stretch too. So notice, tune in, breathe. And then when you feel ready, we'll take a figure 4 on this side. So that left ankle now crosses over, right thigh or lower on that right leg. And send your left knee away from you, and that will require some action through your left hip. So see if you can feel some of that. Take another breath here. And then, as always, you're welcome to stay paused. No need to move more. But if you'd like to explore some movement through kind of the lower back area, that rotation, you can begin to move your figure 4 left to right, kind of rocking side to side on your sacrum, the back of your hips. Your chest will still be facing up. And you can use your arms to kind of help you control the movement too. So arms out into a T can help you kind of control the weight going from side to side some. Palms facing down, kind of a little press through the fingers. That can be helpful. And then again, you could stay here, or if it feels good to drop this figure 4 all the way over to the right side, you could do that. Maybe you bring the block and plant it on this side, landing or the right thigh or right knee on it, or your left foot. And then you could pause here. A few more breaths. Now, sometimes it happens to me when we get to kind of more still poses, depending on the day, these still poses are a little harder to hold. We can get fidgety, physically, mentally. That's where the breath again can be really helpful. So just realizing that there is breath and that there is some agency over the breath. You can also use the breath to find an anchor for your attention, your mind. But the breath is moving. So if that fidgeting happens, if you kind of concentrate on the breath and the movement of your breath, that might be enough to kind of settle you and allow you to be a little bit more in stillness. We'll take a couple more here. And then when you're ready, release your figure 4 and bring your legs back through center. You might bring them in one at a time or both at the same time. Give yourself a little squeeze here. And then we'll find a whole body stretch if you'd like. So you could extend your legs all the way out. You could extend your arms overhead any amount. And then take a full breath in. Reach fingers away from toes, toes away from fingers. Breath out, maybe out through the mouth, maybe audible exhale. And if that felt good, try it one more time. Reach, reach, reach as you inhale. And then soften, release as you exhale. Making your way into Shavasana. Maybe it's extended as you are, bringing your hands by your side or resting on your body. Maybe you bend your knees, plant your feet. Maybe you feel like rolling onto your side and finding Shavasana there. Or you prefer a seat. Whatever you choose, let yourself settle in. And for the next few minutes, there is nothing else to do. Shavasana. And feel free to take a longer Shavasana if you'd like. But if you're ready to move on, bring your awareness back to your breathing. Again, notice the movement, the sensations that come along with that breath. And then find that layer of agency over your breath. You might make it a bit deeper, a bit longer. And let your breath inform movement back into the body. Wiggle through your fingers, maybe your toes. You might find some stretches through your neck, a yawn. We'll eventually meet in a seat. Take your time to get there. And you might choose to rest your hands in your lap, or your chest, or your belly. And giving yourself a couple more moments here. And we'll take this moment also to acknowledge the practice, to acknowledge ourselves and our own practice, to remember, acknowledge those who practiced with us, to acknowledge those who make it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.